Did you know the US and the UK conspired to remove an indigenous population from their island and steal it to build a military base? See, in the 1960s, the US was determined to build a base on the island of Diego Garcia due to its strategic location in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It's important to note Diego Garcia is part of the Chagos archipelago, which was governed as part of Mauritius, which was under British colonial rule. Remember that, it's crucial to the story. There was one major issue in securing Diego Garcia though. It had been home to the Chagosian people for centuries. Chagosians are mainly of African and Indian ancestry. Enter the secret deal between the US and the UK. The UK owed the US $14 million for submarine missiles. The US agreed that if the UK could get them Diego Garcia, that $14 million debt would go away. There were a few conditions though. First, everything about this deal had to remain top secret. They wanted to avoid protocols that required the UK to report to the UN about its continued colonial rule over a country with a permanent population. Secondly, the US insisted that the islands had to be cleared of Chagosians. The UK assured there would be no indigenous population except seagulls. Putting the plan in motion, the UK forced Mauritius to give Chagos up as a requirement for independence. And then from 1965 to 1973, the UK forcibly removed the entire Chagosian population from the Chagos archipelago, or as they call it, British Indian Ocean Territory. Today, Diego Garcia is home to a massive military base that played a significant role in the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and the so-called global war on terror. But what happened to the Chagosian people? During their removal, Chagosians were herded onto the bottom of cargo ships, not allowed to bring much with them, and then abandoned in Mauritius and the Seychelles. Families were separated and they were forced to live in foul conditions. Chagosians experienced severe hardships and discrimination, and what was promised to them was never delivered, leaving them without the means to rebuild their lives. But this isn't ancient history. Chagosians who endured this displacement are still alive, like Bernadette, who was a little girl when her family was forced off Diego Garcia.
How do I feel? Frustrated. Where is my right? You negotiate with somebody on my behalf without my consent. I never gave my consent to anybody to negotiate on my behalf.
Throughout the years, Chagosians continued to demand their right to permanently return home.